We had Elliot Stonecipher on yesterday. Did you listen? Hey, I'll start with that.
I tried not to.
To me or to Elliot?
See, let me try my question the way I was going to phrase it.
You try it.
I think the sniff is very important.
Sniff helps, yeah.
So, you were listening yesterday.
Is that better?
Work with me.
I'm aware.
Okay, you're aware. That's funny. He's kind of funny. He's pretty critical. He was pretty critical, and
But that's nothing new.
Yeah, that's nothing new. Absolutely, and he's critical of a lot of government agencies. He had some strong accusations, and we're honing in on 3132 in that meeting that was held last month. His claims are that there was a meeting held prior to that meeting where some decisions were made or put in place, or the work were put in the place. Was there a meeting prior to the city council meeting?
There's no meeting that I'm aware of.
Okay. You weren't in a meeting prior to?
I was not in a meeting prior to the June 10th council meeting or any point prior to that with any members of the Shreveport City Council, any of the lawyers involved in this, talking about anything regarding 3132. But now, if there were council members or staff or other folks who assembled themselves and they were not numbered in terms of more than 3 in terms of council members, that is something that they are perfectly empowered to do if the intent was for them to figure out how it is they wanted to approach dealing with and addressing this matter.
But you know that if you do those things, it smells of a rat. No, it only smells of a rat if you end up with a situation where, and this goes back for 3 years, where you have had conspiracy after conspiracy, accusation after accusation, story after story that has all been debunked, none proven. I mean, we've been through this before. We've had lawsuits filed by these folks. We've gone to court and had to deal with producing all of these emails and what have you, the time, effort, and expense of all of this, and nothing has been shown, nothing has been proven.
So basically what you're saying is, based on Mr. Stonecipher's accusations, his statements yesterday, point 1, there was no meeting.
To my knowledge, there was no meeting that I was involved in.
Point 2, the documents that he's requested, that as I understand you have to turn over, or the city has to turn over in 72 hours, they don't exist.
No. The documents that have to be turned over and that have been requested are quite voluminous. I mean, at one point we had a request for emails, I think, that went back to January. And so, and you've also got for letters and everything else. And I think even yesterday that request has been amended. And so what has to happen is that you actually have to have the staff, being the IT department, the city attorney's office, they have to actually go through the act of compiling all that information. The city has been in contact with Mr. Pesnell, the counsel for this group. They have been going back and forth in terms of how to respond. This came up as a part of the discussion during the June 24th council meeting where Mr. Pesnell was in attendance. And as I understand it, in terms of speaking to my staff as recently as yesterday, that they have been in conversation both in terms of Dan Thomas with the IT department, Terry Scott as the city attorney, with Mr. Pesnell on Friday, and that there's in fact been, I think, an amended request for some additional information, and we're going to be very glad to provide it, lay it all out, and continue to deal with and confront these folks in and every time they come forward with these issues and accusations.
Terry Scott, the city attorney, if she was in a meeting prior to the city council meeting discussing this with maybe the attorneys or whoever, or a couple of council members, you wouldn't have knowledge of that?
No, not necessarily.
And you don't know that she attended a meeting?
No, and if you've had a group of council members who have decided that they want to take a certain approach to something, and they need some direction in terms of language or strategy or how to proceed and what have you, and they do so on an individual basis, then that's a part of what goes on every day. It's no different than what Mr. Stonecipher and his folks have been doing when they met with Michael Corbin and attempted to try and, I guess, prevail upon him to see their side of this situation. That's not a meeting that I or any other council members who are invited to. We don't know what happened in those discussions. We don't know what threats were made, what type of effort was put in place to try and convince Mr. Corbin and any other member of the council to do something. So for those council members to in turn decide that they want to have a conversation with their staff or amongst each other. That's not a meeting. And also know that this is not a way in which you go about trying to circumvent open meeting laws by doing a rolling quorum, as they say, where
Sure.
you have 3 that go in while 1 stands outside the room. No, that's not what happened, as I understand it. That's not what's in question at this point. This is just simply how they chose to approach and resolve a situation that's been before them.
In the course of your day, and all the people you see, city officials, important people sort of circuitous to all this, does it ever arise where somebody comes up, puts his hand on your shoulder and says, guess what I did last night? Going to make a friendly statement. You say, I don't need to know. I don't want to know. It's better that I don't know. Does that ever happen?
No. No, I think that, I don't ever think not knowing is a good thing. I mean, for me, if you got information, for instance, people who I talk to on the telephone sometimes say, I want to see you in person because I don't want to say this on the telephone. My response to that is,